Overcoming difficulties leads to courage, self-respect, and knowing yourself. Men of genius are admired, men of wealth are envied, men of power are feared, but only men of character are trusted. Follow your heart, but take your brain with you. We are not determined by our experiences, but are self-determined by the meaning we give to them. Meanings are not determined by situations. We determine ourselves by the meanings we ascribe to situations. The only normal people are the ones you don't know very well. It is very obvious that we are not influenced by facts, but by our interpretation of the facts. You can be healed of depression if every day you begin the first thing in the morning to consider how you will bring a real joy to someone else. Life is just the same as learning to swim. Do not be afraid of making mistakes, for there is no other way of learning how to live. A simple rule in dealing with those who are hard to get along with is to remember that this person is striving to assert his superiority, and you must deal with him from that point of view. Trust only movement. Life happens at the level of events, not of words. Trust movement. Courage is not an ability one either possesses or lacks. Courage is the willingness to engage in a risk-taking behavior, regardless of whether the consequences are unknown or possibly adverse. We are capable of courageous behavior, provided we are willing to engage in it. Given that life offers few guarantees, all living requires risk-taking. To see with the eyes of another, to hear with the ears of another, to feel with the heart of another. For the time being, this seems to me an admissible definition of what we call social feeling. Exaggerated sensitiveness is an expression of the feeling of inferiority. Every pampered child becomes a hated child. There is no greater evil than the pampering of children. An educator's most important task, one might say his holy duty, is to see to it that no child is discouraged at school, and that a child who enters school already discouraged regains his self-confidence through his school and his teacher. It is well known that those who do not trust themselves never trust others. My difficulties belong to me. To be human means to feel inferior. The goal of the human soul is conquest, perfection, security, superiority. We must interpret a bad temper as a sign of inferiority. Play is a child's work, and this is not a trivial pursuit. All failures, neurotics, psychotics, criminals, drunkards, problem children, suicides, perverts, and prostitutes are failures because they are lacking in social interest. Nobody adopts antisocial behavior unless they fear that they will fail, but they remain on the social side of life. No experience is a cause of success or failure. We do not suffer from the shock of our experiences, so-called trauma, but we make out of them just what suits our purposes. It is always easier to fight for one's principles than to live up to them. A lie would have no sense unless the truth were felt as dangerous. Everything can always be different. The striving for significance, this sense of yearning, always points out to us that all psychological phenomena contain a movement that starts from a feeling of inferiority and reach upward. The stronger the feeling of inferiority, the higher the goal for personal power. Follow your heart always, and remember to take your head along with you. The chief danger in life is that you may take too many precautions. The feeling of inferiority rules the mental life, and can be clearly recognized in the sense of incompleteness and unfulfillment, and in the uninterrupted struggle both of individuals and humanity. There is only one danger I find in life, and that, indeed, is a real one. You may take too many precautions. There is a courage of happiness as well as a courage of sorrow. The only worthwhile achievements of man are those which are socially useful. Man knows much more than he understands. The truth is often a terrible weapon of aggression. It is possible to lie, and even to murder, with the truth. To be a human being means to possess a feeling of inferiority, which constantly presses towards its own conquest. The greater the feeling of inferiority that has been experienced, the more powerful is the urge for conquest and the more violent the emotional agitation. Our modern states are preparing for war without even knowing the future enemy. There is only one reason for an individual to sidestep to the useless side: the fear of a defeat on the useful side. The educator must believe in the potential power of his pupil, and he must employ all his art in seeking to bring his pupil to experience this power. The human mind shows an urge to capture into fixed forms through unreal assumptions, that is, fictions, that which is chaotic, always in flux, and incomprehensible. There is no such thing as talent, there is pressure. Death is really a great blessing for humanity. Without it, there could be no real progress. The test of one's behavior pattern is their relationship to society, relationship to work, and relationship to sex. What person, confined in a small room with nothing but a tea cozy, will not eventually put the tea cozy on their head? Every individual acts and suffers in accordance with his peculiar teleology, which has all the inevitability of fate, so long as he does not understand it. Violence as a way of gaining power is being camouflaged under the guise of tradition, national honor, and national security. If you wish to educate a child who has gone wrong, then you must keep your attention fixed on the intersection of two charm circles. Time is a great teacher, but unfortunately it kills all its pupils. It is easy to believe that life is long and one's gifts are vast. Easy at the beginning, that is. But the limits of life grow more evident. It becomes clear that great work can be done rarely, if at all. We cannot say that, if a child is badly nourished, he will become a criminal. We must see what conclusion the child has drawn. Try to think every day how you can please someone. Tears and complaints can be an extremely useful weapon for disturbing cooperation and reducing other to a condition of slavery. The style of life is a unity because it has grown out of the difficulties of early life and out of the striving for a goal. War is organized murder and torture against our brothers. I am grateful for the idea that has used me. War is not the continuation of politics with different means. It is the greatest mass crime perpetrated on the community of man. My psychology belongs to everyone. The neurotic is nailed to the cross of his fiction. Whatever excuse he makes, he betrays one thing, and that is that he wishes to be excused of further responsibility. It is not a lower form of intelligence, but a different form of thinking. Life in general has no meaning. Whatever meaning life has must be assigned to it by the individual. Only too many human beings have acquired the habit of recognizing an authority without testing it. We are self-determined by the meaning we give to our experiences. A fight with a child is always a losing fight. He can never be beaten or won to cooperation by fighting. An incalculable amount of tension and useless effort would be spared in this world if we realize that cooperation and love can never be won by force. No man can think, feel, will, nor even dream, without everything being defined, conditioned, limited, directed by a goal which floats before him.